We told you about snow and ice hitting more than a dozen states this weekend. The threat to drivers on the roads, the big worry, black ice, the powerless feeling when your car starts to skid off the highway. ABC's Lindsay Davis shows us how to steer clear of the trouble.
'Tis the season for slipping, sliding, and spinning. Each year, there are more than 250,000 crashes due to snow and sleet. The most dangerous factor, what's called the hidden killer, black ice. This thin, transparent film forms when the temperature of the pavement is colder than the air above it. And while it's not always easy to spot, there are some ways to look out for it and avoid dangerous spinouts. Mark Cox, a winter driving coach, demonstrated for us.
There are two types of skids, a front wheel skid and a rear wheel skid. A front wheel skid is when you turn the steering wheel and the car doesn't turn. In that case, take your foot off the brake and off the gas and just allow the car to coast through the corner as you decrease your steering a little bit. In a rear wheel skid, the car tends to spin. That's when we apply the thing we've always heard about steering into the skid, and at the same time, accelerate gently.
If you do hit a patch of black ice, keep in mind it will take at least twice as long for your car to come to a complete stop. So words of caution this time of year, slow down. Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
They are calling it Ice Friday, the freezing storm stretching 2,000 miles from the heartland to the East Coast. 124 million Americans across 16 states in its grip. And look at what some families are facing this weekend. Cars no match for the slick, icy highways. Neighbors pitching in to help out. Power lines dangerously caked in ice, and so are the car windows. Sidewalks turned into skating rinks and roads icy enough for sleds. Our extreme weather team is in the storm zone tonight, and ABC's Steve Osunsami starts us off from the heart of the storm in Arkansas.
Black ice, white ice. They're calling Ice Friday, stretching some 2,000 miles across the middle of the country, turning roads in Illinois into ice rinks with massive blowing snow, shutting down more than a dozen airports across 7 states and killing at least 6 people. In northern Arkansas today, a man was killed when an icy tree came falling down on his home. And this was the ice versus a power line in Fayetteville. The ice won.
Power flashes.
Back in the city, the driver of this Little Rock bus nearly lost it on a slick road. Families stuck at home or in their cars stuck on the roads.
Has to be bad if the medical school closes.
Justin Roberts says this shouldn't be happening in the South.
Yeah.
He had no gloves or boots and was using an old license plate to scrape the ice off his car.
They did warn us ahead of time. Well, when it hits, and I guess nobody's really ready for it when it actually comes.
This is what families are up against. Cities without the resources to clear the streets. All day long, and we saw one lonely snowplow. Over in Texas, the weight of the ice and snow brought down the roof of this marina. They've canceled the Dallas Marathon. Our Mike Betcher is there and says thousands of families are still in the dark.
A 7-hour ice storm left more than 200,000 homes in Dallas without power. The culprit? A thick coat of ice on limbs. They snapped and brought down power lines all around the Metroplex.
Tonight, utility crews brought in from other states before the storm are working overtime to remove the fallen branches and repair the lines. These freezing temperatures aren't going anywhere anytime soon, so this is going to stick around for a bit. The worst of this storm now heading north and east, greeting the residents of the Ohio River Valley tonight. Diane?
All right, Steve Osunsami out of the cold tonight. And as Steve just said, thousands of power lines across the country are layered in ice, and even 1 inch can be dangerous for an outage. ABC's weather editor Ginger Zee right here is tracking the power for us. Ginger.
And that's why it's so important for us to talk about that Ohio Valley. The area is getting it first tonight. And for the early morning Saturday, I want to first just lay that out for you. So from D.C. to New York, it should stay mostly rain, but just north along that pink line, that's who has to watch out. And this is what we're talking about power line wise, Diane. When you see a power line, 300 feet is all it takes, right? It's 300 feet long. And then you get an inch of ice on it. That will add 2,200 pounds to the power line, and it snaps. That's not the end of our problem, because even if the power line makes it through, the ice falls off when you start to thaw and it can snap back like a rubber band. The next question, are we done after that? He said it's going to stay cold, and it will, but we've got another storm out west. And let me show you what's going to happen. Snow and ice for areas that are not used to it, certainly this early. Look at north of Sacramento. 2.5 inches of snow, Redding over 6. This could be historic snow for them. So we're going to be watching this new storm come on shore this weekend.
All right, it is amazing what 1 inch of ice can do. Thanks so much, Ginger. And our team, of course, will be tracking the fast-moving storm all weekend long.
coming down the hill. Looks like Ruben is in the lead, and here comes Alex. That was a bad idea.